guys, and welcome to the very special edition of the Joseph Bonner Show. Now, today we are joined by an extraordinary woman whose story proves that true leadership isn't about titles. It's really about transformation, really transforming lives. Dr. Shanessa Fenner. The amazing thing about Dr. Fenner, and we're so glad they're here with us today, is she's built a remarkable career as an award-winning educator, school turnaround specialist, as well as a media personality, author, and inspirational leader. You know, the really cool thing is that from leading some of the nation's, most challenging Title I schools to inspiring audiences through radio and television, she's really dedicated her life to helping, individuals to discover what's possible. And through her own legacy and story, we get a chance to discover what's possible for us as well. So today we're going to be talking about education, leadership, and purpose. And of course, media, because she's also a media personality. And one of the really things I really appreciate about her too is, she has dreams and aspirations that are still on her vision board. And I really want to hear what some of those things are for 2026 and 2027. So Dr. Fenner, it's truly a pleasure to have you here with us today. Welcome to the Joseph Bonner Show.
Thank you, Joseph. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
Now, where are you based at right now?
I am in Fayetteville, North Carolina.
All right. And what's it like over there? Like weather? How's it like? How's work?
It's very hot, very humid. Lately, we've had temperatures up to like 106 as far as the heat index is concerned. Very hot, very muggy. So I try to stay in as much as possible and keep this wonderful tan that I have.
I hear you. I hear you. Now, Dr. Fenner, when people hear the word principal, a lot of people think, administrator, but someone like you who's, completely transformed schools and you've really changed the trajectory of your students' lives. I want to begin, where your true passion lives, with the students and the incredible work that you're doing in education. So is that okay if we start there with the interview?
Of course.
All right. So, Shanessa, you just stepped into your fifth role as a Title I school principal. And the cool thing I think about that is really the motive behind, why you do, what you do. So what is it that pulls your heart so deeply towards, these kids?
Well, Joseph, as you just indicated, effective July 1st, 2026, I, of course, moved to my fifth school as a principal. It's once again another Title I school. And my work has always been about human potential. I see who our babies can become. Our babies, of course, they come from poverty, dysfunction, inadequate housing, homes where the father's missing. And they come to school, Joseph, with a lot of barriers. For example, right now, I'm very concerned if my babies are eating this summer. At my previous schools, we had backpack buddies that we gave the babies, of course, so they have something to eat on the weekends. And of course, they receive free breakfast and lunch each day at school. But right now, I'm very concerned and I'm constantly thinking, are my babies eating this summer? Are they okay? Are they cool? Is the air turned on? Do they have lights? Whereas other demographics, those children are asked, where would you like to visit? Where would you like to travel to this summer? Where would you like to go? Whereas my babies, they have a different kind of challenge. So, of course, my heart has always been for my babies. I'm all about exposing them to a different walk of life. I want them to know that, hey, there's a different way, a different world out there. Of course, you can achieve it. I know you can do it. You can be all you can do. And that's what I'm all about. Loving my babies, exposing them, and letting them know that I believe in you, I see you, and you can be all you can be.
Wow. And I love the way that you affectionately refer to them as your babies as well. I
Yes.
think it really just speaks to the motive behind what you do and why you do what you do, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So I genuinely appreciated that, especially coming. I used to be an educator, several years ago, and I always refer to my kids as my babies too. So like hearing that is just like it tugs at my heart. Like
Uh-huh.
it's truly, truly beautiful what you're
Mm-hmm.
doing. So you also took Alger B. Wilkins Elementary from struggling to achieving the highest academic growth in the entire state of North Carolina. So I have to ask this question. What was the very first thing you did on day one to completely flip the script, as it were?
Okay. Well, the first thing that I did was I let my staff know that, hey, we've got a lot of hard work to do. It was very important for me to get everyone's buy-in, get everyone's input, because without buy-in, Joseph, it's kind of hard, to get people on the same page with you. But after we established and did that collaborative plan and created that unified front and worked well together, we had the highest growth in the entire state of North Carolina. Before I was placed at Alger B. Wilkins, the superintendent at that time told me that the state was about to take over the school and that he wanted me to get in there and work my magic and improve those test scores. And that's exactly what we did. Alger B. Wilkins, of course, was a small school, had about 250 babies, but we got in there. I even did small group instruction with the babies, everybody going in the right direction.
I think it takes a very special kind of person in administration to really make sure that everybody does kind of get on the same page because um, I always say that when a school fails or succeeds, you really got to go back to the administration and look there. So the fact that even as an administrator, you were like, "Hey, first thing we did is we got everybody together on the same page." It makes a lot of sense, and I think a lot of administrators still don't know how to do that. I think you really found and obviously something that you live by, a phenomenal blueprint that if others really implemented that in their own districts, they would see a lot more growth and success. But thank you so much for even having the desire and the passion to do that, for the children. It's really, really important, really special.
Thank you, Joseph.
All right, you guys. So don't go anywhere just yet. We'll be right back after this commercial break. We've been talking with Dr. Shanessa Fenner about her incredible work transforming schools. But education is only one chapter of her story. She has also built an impressive career in media, using her voice to educate, inspire, and really connect with audiences around the country. So let's talk about how she uses her skills and manages really to do it all. So by day, you run schools, but by night, you're a TV host, a radio personality. I mean, you're a writer. That's key and huge. I mean, do you sleep, and how do you switch gears between these two worlds?
Yes, yes, and you're absolutely correct, Joseph. By day, I'm an elementary school principal, and night and the weekends, I do TV, radio, and I write for 17 local and national publications. Now, this is how I do it, Joseph. Okay, number one, I do it by getting plenty of rest. I go to bed, Joseph. I know you're not going to believe this, but I go to bed every night at 8 p.m. Okay, I go to bed at 8 p.m. But Joseph, I get up at 3:30 in the morning because I arrive to school between 5 and 5:15 every morning. See, I'm that morning person, that early bird and everything. But when I get home in the evening and my weekends, Joseph, it's all about TV, radio, writing, interviewing. And it's like writing to me is something that I just love so much to do. It's like my peace of mind. And I'll like do interviews in the evenings. Most of the time, if I interview someone for one of the publications, I'm interviewing them in the evening between 6 and 7 p.m. And then that weekend, that Saturday morning, I get up and I take a bath and brush my teeth and wash my face. And I grab my laptop and I just begin. I press the play button on my record because I record them on my little handheld recorder. And I just begin writing and it just flows so easy. And it just makes me feel good. It's relaxing. I also love to read. But writing is something that is just my favorite, and I love to get up on a Saturday morning. Now, some Saturday mornings, Joseph, I like to go to Barnes and Nobles, and I like to find a little area back there with a little chair, and I'll grab me some magazines or some books, and I sit there and read, because of course, if you want to become a better writer, you've got to read. So I do a lot of reading as well. But yes, I find time to do TV, radio. This fall, Joseph, I'm going to bring back my TV show. It's going to be called Let's Talk with Dr. Shanessa Fenner. I'm so excited about that. I'm going to begin taping in September. But I just love media. I love meeting people, interviewing them. I've interviewed some of the most wonderful people. I've interviewed Maya Angelou, Babyface, who's my celebrity crush. I mean, you name it, singers, actors, actresses, Nikki Giovanni, some of the housewives. I mean, you name it. And by being a former radio personality as well, I've also interviewed a lot of singers and musicians, Melissa Morgan and Cara Marshall, and some of them. Also got an opportunity to be on a couple of Cara Marshall's singles and do a little bit of writing. And I co-wrote a song with him as well. But it's just so amazing to do these different things. I have never, Joseph, been a one-trick pony. I'm not a one-trick pony. No one's going to define me and put me in a box. I even teach my babies. I want you to learn how to do more than one thing. We live in an economy where things are constantly ever changing, and Dr. Fenner always wants you to have a backup plan for the backup plan for the backup plan.
And that, amen to that. That's phenomenal. And I think my takeaway from that is like listening to you talk about your schedule from going to bed pretty early and getting up early. What resonates with me, especially about your writing, and again, for those of you guys, I want to say this also for those of you guys listening or watching this, you guys know I'm still traveling the world. So right now I'm in Sri Lanka. So if you hear these tropical birds behind me, that's what it is. But I want to go back and say that I hear the absolute pleasure in your voice when you talk about writing, and you can't help but express like who you are and how you feel about something can't help be expressed through your words, but also through your writing as well. So and we're and writing for so many different publications, and then also for yourself being an avid reader, I can only imagine just the depth and the power that your writing does bring to your readers. And for those of you guys who actually want to see samples of that, again, just take a look at the links in the description of this show, wherever you'll be watching this episode at, and we're going to have some samples so that you can read, so that you can experience Dr. Fenner's work for yourself and really stay connected. But we appreciate what you're doing, and the passion in which you do it is truly commendable and inspiring.
Thank you, Joseph.
Well, Dr. Fenner, you also always talk about authenticity.
Yeah.
How do the lessons you learned in the classroom help you when you're like stepping in front of the camera or interviewing a guest?
Okay. Authenticity, Joseph, means everything to me. To thine own self be true. I am the same Shanessa Fenner every day. My teachers and my staff, they never have to come to school and wonder, hey, which side of the bed did Shanessa get off this morning? No, Shanessa is the same way every day. I am a no nonsense, straightforward, compassionate person. And being authentic, Joseph, it lets people know that, hey, this person is real. This person is trustworthy. She's going to do what she says she's going to do. She's going to follow through. If I ask her a question, she's going to be honest. And being authentic has always been who I am. I can't be anyone else. I am Shanessa, and I will always be Shanessa. I know that, everybody doesn't like me, and that's fine. I have no problem with that. I still sleep good at night, and I have no problem with that. I will help anybody do anything. I've made a lot of beautiful contacts in life, and I built a lot of relationships. Now, one thing that I know about being authentic, you build a lot of genuine relationships, and people get to know that, hey, this is a leader I want to follow. This is someone who inspires me. This is someone who I want to get up every day and go to that school and be motivated to excel. So when it comes to my TV interviews and radio and all of that, I just bring my true self. I'm asking questions that the person has probably never been asked because I want to know the inner person. I want to know their challenges, their obstacles, their fears, and we're going to have a conversation that's if they feel comfortable enough and open enough to answer it. But I love to ask those questions that people have never asked before and that people may feel uncomfortable answering.
Hmm. I appreciate that, and especially as a journalist myself, like I really think that those kinds of interviews where you can kind of take the audience on maybe a different journey through this individual's life, especially if it's someone that people already know. Every great leader has a vision for tomorrow. While Dr. Fenner has already accomplished more than most people dream of, she's still reaching for even bigger goals. In this final segment, we're talking about legacy, purpose, and what she hopes really the next chapter of her life will look like. Now, Dr. Fenner, you have a massive goal to write for Oprah's magazine and really interview Oprah herself. If she's
Yes.
watching right now, please tell us all, like, what is the very question you want to ask?
Okay. Joseph, I have several questions, but if I had to choose one, it would be Oprah, you have spent a lifetime making people feel seen. What is it about you that the world hasn't truly seen?
Mm, mm. Now that's a question.
Mhm.
Okay, well, Ms. Oprah, that question is really only for you to answer. Um, I'd be curious to hear. I think it's a fantastic question. I think we all have a part of us that we feel no one really gets. You know what I mean? So I think the question that you've asked is really profound, thought provoking. I'm be curious to hear what your response will be, Miss Oprah. Of course, we await
Me
your
too.
inspiring response. A
Me
great
too.
question. That's a great question. So I guess my final question is, when students look back years from now at the doors you opened for them, what do you hope they say about the impact you had on their lives?
I want my babies to say, I had a principal named Dr. Shanessa Fenner who saw me. She believed in me. She didn't look at my test score. She didn't look at my background. She didn't look at my behavior. She looked at me. And Dr. Fenner believed I could become something greater. And because she believed it, I began to believe it too. You see, Joseph, some educators get their name etched on a building, they win awards and all. Buildings, of course, they begin to, get old. Awards get dust on them and everything. But when you can instill in a baby that you are enough and you are worthy, that speaks volumes. I want them to believe that and echo that through generations. And I want it to have a ripple effect so that all the babies would know that they are enough. And that is my legacy. And hey, once I know that I've achieved that, I know that I've lived well.
Wow, well said. That's truly beautiful and inspiring as well. So thank you for sharing that. And your journey really reminds us that real leadership isn't measured by the position you hold. It's really measured by the lives that you impact. So whether you're leading a school to success, inspiring viewers through your media, or mentoring our leaders of tomorrow, or just encouraging, one child to believe in themselves. What you've done, Dr. Fenner, is you've shown us that purpose has the power to not just transform lives, but transform communities. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on the Joseph Bonner Show today. And we can't wait to see what doors continue to open up for you. And perhaps one day, one day, we'll actually be watching that interview between you and Oprah herself.
Yes. And Joseph, I would like to thank you for having me on your show. you continue to do all these great things that you're doing. And yes, hopefully one day you will get a chance to see Oprah and I do that interview.
That would be amazing. That would be absolutely. And to our viewers, thank you for joining us for another inspiring conversation. Remember, success isn't about reaching the top. It's about lifting others as you climb. I'm Joseph Bonner, and until next time, keep believing and keep leading. And please keep making a difference. We'll see you guys next time on the Joseph Bonner Show. Take care.